What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Nick 4K video. Today we're checking out a video from Marina McBain, and her video is titled K-pop Demon Hunters Proves Hollywood Can't Write Women. Let's check it out.
Here's a sentence I never thought I would say out loud, but an animated K-pop movie just schooled Hollywood on how to write women by letting them burp. No, I'm not joking. Just stick with me on this one, okay? So K-pop Demon Hunters is now the most watched Netflix movie of all time. Bigger than Bird Box, bigger than Red Notice,
Wow.
bigger than whatever Ryan Reynolds was smirking his way through last summer. And when I first heard about it, I was a bit skeptical. I mean, a story where K-pop idols fight demons? That literally sounds like an SNL sketch. But boy, was I wrong. The movie itself was honestly amazing. It was a fresh story with complex characters and overall just a really fun time, which has been rare for kids movies these days. But guess what? I'm not here to talk about how good the movie was, even though it was great. I'm here to talk about one aspect that I have not stopped thinking about.
I did receive a comment from someone asking me what I thought about K-pop, so I'm just going to do a brief little review here. I thought it was fun. I thought it was definitely not what I was expecting. When I saw the thumbnail for it, I didn't watch it until like 2 weeks ago, so it's been out for like 3 months or something like that. But I finally watched it with the kids, and they loved it. My wife loved it. The music's fun. It's a fun movie, very entertaining. So that's my perspective. Is it the best movie ever? Is it a little overrated? Maybe. But it's one of those things where like I understand why it is big as it is and why people love it. And it's very like ADHD, I guess you could say. Like it feels like an ADHD movie, and maybe that's why everyone loves it, but we'll see. Let's keep watching.
When the main character did this absolutely ground-shaking, unholy type of burp. Because in that one silly little human moment, K-pop Demon Hunters did what many Hollywood blockbusters with all their fake girl power moments could never do. It made women on screen feel real. You see, Hollywood loves the strong female lead. Or at least the idea of one. For the last decade, studios have been obsessed with proving that they can write empowered women. And what do we usually get? The girl boss.
Yeah.
I need you to fix his suit.
The suit is literal perfection.
It will be, when it fits a woman.
Now, the term didn't start in Hollywood. It was originally a book called #Girlboss by Sophia Amoruso in 2014. It was supposed to be about female ambition, strong women in charge, all that good stuff, but as soon as companies and brands jumped on the trend, the meaning of the word just completely changed.
Yep.
By 2020, girlboss didn't mean empowerment, it meant you were being sold empowerment like a product.
Yeah, you'll see that a lot of times, like girl power, woke. It all initially started as like a good thing, and then some shitty people got a hold of it and made it bad. So it's just one of those things where like the idea of what it was initially meant to be, the idea is good, but then it became corrupted and toxic. So now we're at this turning point where girl power, woke, all the extra more toxic levels of you know, the way to describe things, Mary Sue, that's another way to describe it. All that stuff's kind of dying off now because, you know, Hollywood pushed for it. It didn't work out. Now they're killing all of it. It's all dying off. And it's good to see things like, you know, K-pop show up and really just, hey, you can do the right girl power without going over the top with toxicity, like the way that they've been doing it. So it is good to see. Step in the right direction. Let's keep it going.
You know the vibe, a pink water bottle that says Girl Power Slay in cursive on it, while the company still underpays women in real life. They also sell it for double the amount that they sell the blue men's one, even though it's the exact same product, you know, that type of thing. And of course, Hollywood saw this shiny new word and said, oh yes, please, I'll have one of those. But the reason why it feels so forced is because this is the exact same industry that spent decades using women as background decoration. The love interest, the sexy sidekick, the random shot of legs walking in slow motion. But when Girl Boss started
Hey, I like
trending,
those days.
studios just swapped out one
Those were
cliche
good
for
days. We had it
another.
right. We had it figured
Instead of
out.
damsel in distress, we now have the strong female lead. Which sounds great on the surface, but underneath it all, women still weren't characters, they were just props. Only now, the props had catchphrases and power stances instead of push-up bras. And that's why so many of these characters just feel so hollow and empty. They're styled to look cool and powerful, but when you actually watch them in action, there is just nothing going on underneath. They have no flaws, no awkwardness, no character arc. They're not people that you can connect with. They're just made to tick boxes on some girl boss checklist. Take Avengers Endgame, for example, and you know exactly what scene I'm talking about, where every single female superhero just happens to land in the exact same spot for this huge girl power moment.
Yeah, this part is probably the very first time I saw true toxic girl power. I think they were referring it to as toxic femininity. I don't know if that was the term back then, but that's pretty much what they were describing it before it was truly girl power. Like this, we look at this as a girl power moment. When I saw this in theaters, I rolled my eyes, I looked at my wife, and she said, "That was so stupid." So I'm sure there are people out there who saw this scene and thought, "Oh, this is really cool." In retrospect, when I watch it, I still laugh about it because it is silly, because the idea is like, hey, we got your back, Captain Marvel. And so all the girls are here ready to back her up. But then she just flies by all of them anyways. So it wasn't like, hey, let's give it to Shuri. Let's give it to someone, a Mantis. I don't know. Let's give it to someone who can't just fly by everybody else. We all got to stand there for whatever reason. Hey, Mantis has to have this thing. She's the one who has to run it. We don't know why. She's just the one who has to do it. Okay, don't worry, we got your back. I think that's one of those things where it's like, change the character holding the gauntlet and the person who has to get it to where it's got to go, and you're good. But it's because you gave it to Captain Marvel, who's arguably the strongest girl here, maybe behind Scarlet Witch. She doesn't need their help. Them just showing up was just a thing that Hollywood was trying to push at the time. It's just so cringy. It's weird. It was a bad idea. Looking back now, I actually think they wouldn't have done this scene in today's more modern, the death of woke times, right? But like at the time, this was where woke was really starting to become toxic and become like a different thing. And that's what they were really pushing. So yeah, like I said, as time has gone on, I don't mind this scene as much, but the first time I saw it, very cringy, very forced. It didn't fit. But with all that said, I could be wrong. I just don't think I am.
It was supposed to be inspiring, but instead it just ended up feeling like one of those HR posters you see in an office with the words teamwork in big bold letters. Marvel, we really don't need you to pause your biggest battle in the entire franchise to remind us that women exist, okay? The women were fighting alongside the men the entire movie. What was the need? There was no need.
Yeah.
And that's why this whole girl boss thing just doesn't work, because women are being written as these progressive messages instead of real people. This is exactly why K-pop Demon Hunters feels like such a slap in the face to Hollywood. It doesn't give us an idea of a woman, it gives us actual women. And watching it, you suddenly realize just how bad Hollywood has been fumbling this entire time.
Okay, and so I'm just going to add on to that. Effectively what it is, I mentioned this in a previous video, so I'm just going to bring it up again. But think about how, like, what Hollywood does is they go, okay, here is the gay character. Isn't he gay? Look at him, he's gay. Isn't he gay? He's a gay character. So they'll do that and they'll beat you over the head with it. Instead of being like, hey, here's this really solid character. Here's his interesting backstory. He's a good guy. You like him. Oh, he also happens to be gay, but that's not his like personality trait. You know what I mean? Like, sure, he's gay, but he is a really solid, good character overall. And Hollywood kind of got that mixed up. So that's kind of what they do with their female characters too. They want to give them the girl boss treatment without making them good characters first. So it's like, hey, here's the female character of the movie. Oh, cool. What does she do? Doesn't matter what she does. She's the girl boss. Yeah, but what else? What extra information can you give me? Doesn't matter. She's the girl boss. And if you're against it, I'll cancel you. And that's pretty much how it's been for the last 4, 5, 6 years. So we're fixing it. We're coming back around. Things are looking better. But ultimately, the toxic woke age has come to an end. So we will see the end of these type of projects. Maybe. We'll see.
So, the story takes place in this version of Korea where demons steal the souls of humans in the attempt to keep their king alive. But across history, 3 women always show up to fight back as demon hunters, and the wild part is that they use their singing voices as their main weapon. The hunters sing songs of courage and hope that brings people together in order to create this magical barrier called the Hunmoon, which keeps demons from fully breaking into the human world. It's crazy how the basic premise of this story already sounds more creative than anything Hollywood has been putting out recently, and this is only just the beginning. Fast forward to now, and that same tradition lives on.
Okay, so on paper, the idea of this movie sounds really stupid. I'm just gonna be honest. So we had a friend who we told, like, hey, we watched the K-pop movie with our kids and everyone really liked it. It's a really fun movie, good music. You're gonna really like it. So my friend, she asked me, what's it about? So I explained it, and she looked at me like, that sounds really stupid. I'm like, yes, I know. It sounds dumb, but trust me, it's really, really good. So it's just funny. On paper, it don't make sense, but in, fruition, it is good.
Through Huntrix, which is a K-pop group made of members Rumi, Mira, and Zoe. Now, these girls have it rough, okay? So not only do they have to fight demons that slip through the barrier, but they also have to face the brutal K-pop industry, which is arguably worse. So Huntrix are at the peak of their popularity, and the world tour has nearly turned the Hunmoon barrier completely golden, which means that the demon world would be sealed off for good. For Mira and Zoe, turning the Hunmoon barrier gold is the least of their worries right now, because all they want to do is just relax after their tour. But unfortunately for them, Rumi has other plans and releases their new single Golden in hopes that it would complete the barrier. I would have been absolutely livid if I was the other two. What do you mean you're not giving us a break? Well, little do they know, but the reason Rumi wants to complete the barrier so badly is because she's hiding an even deeper and darker secret. She's actually half demon and her scars have been spreading. Okay, plot twist of the century right there. When Rumi was a child, her mentor told her that completing the Hunmoon might erase the demon markings from her body, which makes sense as to why she's so desperate to get things moving. I know it sounds a little bit all over the place, but just trust me when I say that it is a really good story with some amazing characters. One of the first things that struck me when watching this movie was just how real these girls felt. You know, despite being animated pop star demon slayers, they have inside jokes with each other. They're unapologetically cringe at times. I've just never seen animated characters act so real and relatable, and it was just really cool to see. I also loved how the animators gave them these exaggerated anime expressions at times. I just thought
My daughter
that
loved their
added
faces.
so much to their characters. But in Hollywood, leading ladies can't look anything but perfect. Oh, they just had the biggest battle of their life and they're on the brink of death? Really? Because to me, it just looks like they're straight off the red carpet and someone just smudged a little dirt on their face. Meanwhile, in real life, I can't even walk to the fridge without looking like I just fought Thanos. But not only do these characters look perfect 24/7, but they also consistently have the personality of a soggy cardboard box. Just look at characters like Wonder Woman. They tried so hard to make her this badass hero that they forgot to give her any real personality at
Okay, so in defense of Wonder Woman, she was raised in a society of just women girl bosses, but like based off of where she came from, her personality makes sense. So I'm okay with Wonder Woman being the way she is. So there's my defense against Wonder Woman.
At all. Like, God forbid a woman that saves the world also cracks a joke. Oh, scary. The men can be strong and funny, but the women, no, they have to look cool 24/7 because apparently that's aspirational. I'm curious, have these writers ever met a woman in real life? Do you think they've ever had a conversation with a woman? Doesn't seem like it. But then K-pop Demon Hunters comes along and shows everyone that strength doesn't mean stripping everything away that makes a woman human. The movie doesn't start by showing us this intense action montage showing us how cool they are. No, it starts by the 3 of them absolutely demolishing an absurd amount of food. They're talking with their mouths full, they're burping up a storm, and it just shows them being unapologetically real and themselves, which I just thought was really cool and refreshing.
The
to
faces
see.
are funny.
It instantly gives you an idea of who they are as people, not just what they can do. And then from there, it goes into this fantastic scene where the flight attendants were actually demons in disguise and they have to fight them in order to get to their concert on time. It's the first time we really see them fight, and oh my god, they're insane at it. They're not only beating the demons, but they're also singing and fixing their makeup all at the same time. The movie allows them to be girly without making it seem like it's a weakness. In fact, it's what makes them powerful, and that is something that's so rare to see in Hollywood, because usually the female characters of today get stripped of anything that seems girly in order for them to fit into this girl boss template. They're rewritten to be tougher, colder, more masculine. Like, strength only counts if it looks traditionally male, and that's where it actually backfires. It ends up saying that a woman can't be feminine and still be strong, which is just ridiculously backwards.
Yeah.
Take the live action Snow White, for example. In the original, Snow White is seen as a sweet and nurturing character who makes friends with the animals and sees the good in everyone. Sure, she's not out there slaying dragons, but in my opinion, her strength comes from the way that she inspires people through her kindness. But sadly, for current Disney standards, her strength was not nearly girl boss enough, so they decided to completely change her.
That is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Like, that's one of those things where it's like, I've said this before, but like that woke mind virus thing, like it's all locked in. Everyone's so happy to hear this. They're effectively saying they're killing the original story and you're gonna like it, and then no one wants to go see it, and then they're mad at us for not going to see it. Society can be disappointing sometimes.
And the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Don't get me wrong, there is nothing wrong with having a story with this type of character, but it's the way that they felt like there was something wrong with the original, and that's what rubs me the wrong way. The original Snow White loved to bake, she took care of others, and she dreamed of falling in love. Does every woman want these things? No, of course not. But it's so important to understand that the women that do like these things aren't any less feminist because of it. K-pop Demon Hunters has a perfect balance of this with the rival band, the Saja Boys, who, spoiler alert, are actually demons in disguise. These poor girls can't catch a break. The group, led by Jinwoo, are on a secret mission to weaken the Hun Moon by taking the fans and energy away from Huntrix. This ends up being way easier than they expected, because the moment they performed Soda Pop, the fans were basically throwing themselves at them. Not even our main three characters could contain their attraction towards them, and I just found that so refreshing and real, because having a crush isn't a sign of weakness. I think the way that they handled the Saja Boys was just perfection, because let's be real, they could have easily just been written as one-dimensional villains.
You know, I guess that's a good point that she mentions. Even like in a lot of more modern movies, the main character girl is usually like, I don't think anyone's good looking. Everyone thinks I am, but I don't think anyone's good looking. So it is interesting when you show she didn't show the scene, but like when Rumi first sees the leader of the Saja Boys, she like actually like breaks that front of like, oh, like she's actually caught off guard. So I think that's a really cool element to show, like, hey, that adds more humanity to Rumi's character. So I actually really dig that. As far as the other Saja Boys go, looking back now, they probably could have been, there could have been deeper storylines with them too. They kind of are just villains pushed to the side. They have their own looks, obviously, and that's what adds to their characteristics, but ultimately they are just kind of villains behind the main guy. She said his name was Junie, behind Junie, or Juna, or I forget his name, but behind him. He's of course the main guy. He's got a good story, but all the rest of them kind of fall short. I don't know if that's necessarily because that was the whole plan. They were supposed to just be lackeys, or because they only had a certain amount of runtime. All that extra story elements and like background with like Rumi, more stories about her father or whatever, that all kind of gets left for like sequels maybe. I don't know. But yeah, it's a fun movie, but there are some missing elements in it, I'd say.
The kind of rival band you're supposed to laugh at because the girls are obviously better, but that's not what happens. The Saja boys are actually talented, like annoyingly talented. The kind of talented where you'd roll your eyes but still add their song to your playlist in secret. And I love how the movie went out of its way to show that. Them singing Soda Pop at the start of the movie literally hasn't left my brain since I watched it. I mean, just look at those dance moves. Even the Huntrix girls literally couldn't stop moving to the beat. As much as they wanted to hate them as rivals, they acknowledged and respected their talent, and that's the genius of it. The film doesn't need to put the boys down to bring the girls up. The rivalry isn't about tearing the other side apart, it's about proving themselves on an equal playing field.
100%. That's what it is. In order to show a girl boss, she's right. For Hollywood, in order for them to show a girl boss, they have to tear men down too at the same time. 100%. She nailed it right there. Boom. We got it. Perfect.
The girls know the Saja boys are good, so they have to be better. They have to work harder, train harder, push themselves so that when the big showdown comes at the end, they can stand on that stage and prove that they deserve to win. And that is such a refreshing take, especially for a movie aimed at a global audience, because it shows us that female empowerment doesn't have to come at the expense of men's talent. And I can't help but think about the Barbie movie in this context. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the Barbie movie, and I think it had so many empowering moments, but a lot of the time those moments came at the expense of the male characters. The Kens are clueless and powerless. They basically have the combined IQ of a beach ball, which, to be fair, kind of makes sense since their entire job description is literally beach.
You know, the interesting thing about the Barbie movie, and I've said this before, but the interesting thing about the Barbie movie is when Ken takes over Barbie Land and he makes it Kenville, I forget what he calls it. When it's effectively Ken Town, everybody is way happier. All the guys and all the women are all happier. Sure, the women are what they say, like they're like manipulated into thinking they're happy, but everyone's happy. And then when you look at it, when the Barbies go back to being in charge, the Kens aren't really happy still, but the Barbies are happy. But it's one of those things where it's like everyone was happy when Ken was in charge, and then when the Barbies are in charge, Barbie's happy and the Kens aren't. So maybe from a certain perspective, Ken is actually in the right because everyone's happy. You know, it's one of those things where it's like you could look at that, you could hear what I'm saying, and you can be mad at me for saying that. But if you look at the story, it does check out. So that's all I'm going to say.
Basically useless unless they're hyping the Barbies up, which I can understand how some people may view this as a yes, girl power, flip the script kind of moment, but to me, it's just kind of lazy. Like the movie's idea of feminism is just making the guys dumb so the girls look smarter. But K-pop Demon Hunters doesn't play that game. The Saja boys aren't losers, they're good, talented competition. And that's what makes the girls' victory actually feel earned, because they actually had to work to get it. And that's exactly where Hollywood goes wrong, because instead of letting women prove themselves like Huntrix, they keep building these female characters who don't need to prove anything because they're already overpowered and underwritten and about as human as a cardboard cutout. Let's just talk about Captain Marvel for a second, because she's basically the poster child for this problem. She's supposed to be Marvel's big feminist icon, their answer to decades of underwritten women in their films, but what do we get? A character who's already great at everything from the second she's on the screen. But the problem is, she just feels so empty because she never actually has to go through anything. Her journey is literally just remembering that she was always awesome. Like, okay, congrats, but that doesn't exactly make for riveting character development. She doesn't fail, she doesn't make messy choices, she's literally just Marvel's idea of what a strong woman should look like without actually making her human. And then we have Disney's live-action Mulan. The original...
I just want to comment on Captain Marvel real quick. I think that movie gets more hate than it deserves. Is it good? I don't know. But is it terrible? No. It's perfectly fine being the introduction to Captain Marvel and being the bridge from Infinity War to Endgame. But of course, that's just my opinion.
Animated Mulan worked so well because she was ordinary. She was clumsy and lacked so much confidence, but she still became a warrior through pure hard work and determination. That was the point of the story. She wasn't born special, she had to prove herself. But in the remake, nope, forget training, forget failure, forget growth. This Mulan was basically a superhero from the start. She got these weird magical powers when she was a kid, which allows her to do random parkour and beat up grown men before even joining the army. That's what it means
did hear
to be
about
feminist, I guess. Because to me, it was the opposite. By making her just special from the get-go, they robbed her of having any actual character growth.
Yeah.
And that completely ruins the message of the story. Instead of telling girls you can work hard and make yourself strong, it tells them, sorry, only the naturally gifted get to be heroes. And it's just so annoying because Mulan was that girl boss hero to start off with, so what on earth
I never
were they
watched that
thinking?
one, but
Again,
I heard it was
K-pop
pretty bad.
Demon Hunters does not fall into this trap. Yes, okay, these girls are powerful. I mean, they literally have magical weapons and can do martial arts, all whilst being K-pop idols, but they also fail.
It is interesting. Why make a remake of something if you're gonna miss the whole point of the original one? Why? I get like changing a few things to make it a little more original, but why would you miss the entire message of the original? It's like they watched the beginning and they watched the end of the movies, and then they just kind of make up stuff from there. I don't know. It's weird. It's like they missed the messaging part. Like it's just I don't get it. And like I said, maybe it's just not for me. That's why I don't understand it, because it's not for me. But it is weird why writers would do that.
A lot. They doubt themselves and they need the help of each other to succeed. Towards the end of the movie, Rumi's demon side gets revealed to her bandmates, and oh boy,
I just
are they
realized
not
her
happy
hair is
about
kind
it,
of similar
mainly
to
because she
the
lied
red-haired
and just
one.
hid it from them. So that triggers a big conflict between them and causes
Yeah,
a rift
she's
in their
wearing. That's
friendship.
probably why
But
she has her
there's
hair
an
like that.
amazing
Okay.
moment in
My
the
bad.
final battle where Rumi is struggling against the Demon King, and it looks like she might lose until Mira and Zoe join in with their voices to strengthen the music's magic. And I think it's the most empowering scene in the entire movie because it perfectly encapsulates what girl power really is. Women supporting women. Each girl in Huntrix has been developed as an individual with their own struggles and insecurities, but they all come together to lift each other up. And the fact that these girls never once have to come together and say, see, girls can do anything. No, they just do the things, and it makes it so fun and not feel forced. I found myself smiling when the trio would do a cool synchronized fight move or drop a funny line mid-battle because it felt like them. Not like the screenwriters were trying to get a round of applause for making women look cool. Here's a little test I use. If a movie's girl power moment feels cringe, then it's probably more pandering than it is genuine. But if it makes you forget that girl power is even a concept because you're so engrossed in the character's story, then that's genuine. And K-pop Demon Hunters had me totally engrossed. I wasn't thinking about the politics of it until afterwards when I realized, wow, I just watched 3 female leads kick butt and not once did it feel forced or patronizing. When does that ever happen in Hollywood blockbusters? Instead we get movies
Also,
like Madam
another
Web.
thing is, if you look, I mean, look at their costumes. Like they're pretty girls. They're still slender, but it's like they have like that extra magical strength to them. It just looks cool. Like they look like cool characters. They don't look like weird looking people who I'm being told to like. Not only are they easy on the eyes, but they are just genuine good characters. And they don't really care if I like them or not. They're gonna do their thing. And I think that's great. Like that's just the way they should be written.
Patronizing. When does that ever happen in Hollywood blockbusters? Instead we get movies like Madam Web. Please keep this to yourself. I don't want it. I wanted to end the video with
I never
a
watched
quote
Madam
by
Web. I heard it was
Maggie
really bad,
Chan,
though.
who is the creator of the movie. She says, although the film covers themes from self-acceptance to finding your own power, I hope girls can connect with the message of friendship. Just like how Huntrix has each other, girls should support and encourage each other's silliness. To me, that's true girl power. But anyway, that is the end of today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below your opinions on this video, whether you feel like it's a big issue in Hollywood like I think it is, or if you haven't noticed it.
Awesome, Marina. Great video. Yeah, it's a fun movie. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely check it out. It's not for everybody. I don't think I necessarily watch it on my own, but like if my kids wanted to watch it again, I'd watch it with them. So there you go. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn notifications for more. If you want to check out any more videos from me, make sure to go click the links over here. Go check them out. Thanks again for watching. I'll catch you next one. Peace.